Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube live stream. Today, we are going to talk about planning and evaluating operations again, and we'll discuss about the evaluating part. All right, so we'll take a close look at certain reports made by the front office department, like daily operations report and some other, the net revenue, how we can calculate from the rooms division and the total hotel net revenue part, and how it helps. So in that way, we are going to talk about that. I can see Biraj Khan and Suryadup already wishing me a very good morning to you, Biraj. A very good morning to you, Suryadup. And Sampujita, very good morning. Shazeb, very good morning. Uh, Thank you so much. Your good wishes makes me feel very, very happy. And let's start today's session. And Shani Shah is there. Okay, all right. So you are able to log in properly now, it seems. And there are many of you who have started wishing me. Thank you so much for your good wishes. So let's start today's session in planning and evaluating operation. We'll try to make sure that the things are visible, but you can understand that the board presentation can be a little bit dim, but I had already sent you some mails through your answer and all. So I would request you to keep that mail on and check the daily operations report, the various revenue reports that we have, and that will definitely help us to understand this particular part, evaluating operation. Remember, it's planning and evaluating operation, and today we are concentrating on the evaluating part. All right. Um, good morning, you all, once again, and let's start the session. So we can see that we have this part evaluating front office operation in the presentation that I had sent you. So when we talk about evaluating, it determines the extent to which planned goals are in fact attained. So when you did Hubbard's formula approach, you saw that we have a target set. All right. So we have to now check through the evaluating kind of tools whether the target goals has been attained or not. So that's why we create all those kind of tools for us, with which we keep on checking the front office managers and the managers of various departments. They keep on checking, all right, whether those planned goals are being attained. It also involves reviewing and, when necessary, revising and helping to revise front office goals. So we'll see that what are those different things. There is something which is called front office schedule. So it is basically the department goal which comes. So we'll come to that, and I'll try to explain if the time permits today. I think there is enough time, so we'll see that. But we'll take a close look at the daily operations report today. All right, that's very important for us. So moving ahead, these are the various kind of front office tools that we have. All right. So if you have your presentation slides open in front of you, I would request you to go to this particular slide, and then there will be daily operations report in front of you, occupancy ratios, rooms revenue analysis, the hotel income statement. Now, today we are going to concentrate on daily operations report, one very important, and the hotel income statement. Now, this hotel income statement is little bit different from the when you say the room revenue analysis. So when we did budgeting, if you remember, we had done the room revenue analysis. So what we had done, we had actually checked that, okay, these are our kind of revenue stream. We had found out that, okay, these are our expenses, and this is the net income from our department, and then we did variance analysis. That's what we did in terms of budgeting. But when we do hotel income statement, we try to check, okay, all right, this is the entire hotel income, and we talk about the distributed and undistributed expenses. So those are very important for us. And another term which you may be asked at the time of your interviews, amortization. So we'll come to that a little bit later. So we start with the first thing, which is the daily operations report. All right, let's see daily operations report. Now, when we say daily operations report, we are talking about the night audit report, which is sent by the night auditor to the front office manager. And also it also entails not only the it is not only called the night auditor's report, as you know, it is also called manager's report or manager's flash. All right, so daily operations report has many names. This is for your kind of glossary term also. So daily operations report, also called manager's flash, manager's report, night auditor's report. There are several names, so you can have a look at it. Now let's start checking how the daily operations report look like. So this is the example of a daily operations report. It looks quite vast, but we'll see that what are the parts we have. There are many parts of it. So first of all, we have the revenue summary. All right. Now afterwards, when we talk about the entire hotel revenue analysis, when we see that, we actually get a clue from the night auditor's report. So there is a part where the night auditor's report comes, and you can see that when we talk about the revenue summary out here, we are talking about the room revenue. Now here there are three parts. One is what is today's revenue. All right, what is month to date? MTD means month to date. Now there are two terms which you will find, like you'll find that the modern hotels, which does not deal with the written daily operations report, they prefer the computerized system which are preparing the daily operations report, the PMS. So when the PMS is making, they are not only providing today's revenue, they are also analyzing immediately what is month to day revenue, also year to date. So there are few terms which you remember: month to day, year to day. So net room revenue, this is net room revenue. We are talking about today's revenue, we are talking about month to day revenue, and we are talking about year to day revenue. Now here it is written budget till month end. So budget, when we did the budgeting chapter, you remember that we had actually forecasted. So whenever there is a term budget given here, this is my forecasted revenue for the end of the month. So whenever there is a variance, I can check. Similarly, there can be a budget till year end. All right. So in that way, I can check that, okay, today's revenue is this. This is my month to day revenue. This is my budget for the month end. This is my year to day revenue, and this is my budget for the year end. In that way, not only rooms division revenue is being checked. We are checking for food, beverage, banqueting. Then there are different telephone calls, the different other departments like laundry, etc., garage, gift shop, health shop, and all those, every revenue center. All right, basically we are talking about every revenue center, and we are compiling the total report, total revenue earned, budgeted, forecasted, difference, everything we are coming to know from the daily operations report. So it is very important. Now apart from that, here in this side you will find that it is given occupancy summary. So when we are talking about occupancy summary, so we are talking about how much occupancy today, both in percentage and in numbers. So similarly, month to date. So month to date again, percentage and in numbers. So we are providing that. We are providing means how many complimentary rooms we are providing, what are the total rooms occupied, out of order rooms, vacant rooms, total available rooms, or the rooms which has not been sold, and like that, how many rooms are house use. Now you know house use, okay? So whenever you find a night manager is working in the hotel, so we provide them to stay within the hotel. So those are the rooms which the night operators, general managers, front office managers, which are using in the hotel. So those are house use. So we do not charge for them. So we know that how many rooms are actually complimentary rooms and how many are house use rooms. So like we can say that total number of available rooms in a hotel of 250 rooms are 245. But when we talk about the revenue earning, we are taking out the house use rooms and the complimentary rooms from that. So the revenue goes down, so the ADR goes down and all that. So house use and number of complimentary rooms becomes very, very important in a daily operations report, as you can see. So after that, you can see that average room rate, complimentaries, etc. we are providing, and the total number of guests who are staying inside the hotel. Now, total number of guests, this is the house count which we need to remember, because there is a very important formula which I think you remember, REVPAC or REVPAC, REVPAG or REVPAC. Now it means revenue per available guest or revenue per available customer, which is very, very important for us, because we need to understand that per guest how much revenue we are earning. So in that way, so we are trying to find out that, okay, these are the like my average room rate, these are the complimentaries, total hotel rooms, etc. that we have sold, unsold. Now here there is a very important part which we say that relocated. All right, relocated, I think we have discussed this. Relocated, displacement, this all terms, it means farm out rooms or walking a guest. A guest has come due to overbooking, we cannot provide them room, so we are walking the guest, and of course we have to pay some money for that. So that's why the relocated guest becomes very important, because how much goodwill we have, how much spent we have done through our goodwill, that we can know from that relocated part. All right, coming down to the this total hotel, this part we are talking about the total hotel revenue, we are talking about month to date total hotel revenue, we are talking about forecasted hotel revenue, we can go for year to date hotel revenue and forecasted year revenue, like that. So you'll find that in certain reports the words year to date and month to date comes simultaneously along with their budgets. So next comes a very important question, sometimes which are asked to you, what is room revenue analysis? So this part is room revenue analysis. So when we are talking about room revenue analysis, we are trying to understand how much revenue we are earning from the various segments of the hotels. So when you are talking about various segment of the hotel, we can see that this particular segment is paying us what? Rack rate. Okay, so rack rate, how many rooms we have sold, all right, and this what percentage of rooms we have sold in the rack rate, what is the average rate through the rack rate, how much total revenue we have earned through the rack rate, and like that. Now this is coming for today's part, and this is coming from month to date. As you can understand, there can be another part where we are talking about year to date. All right. So in this revenue analysis, we are saying only today and month to date. There can be another part which is year to date, and from there we can actually check that, okay, this is the forecasted part and this is the amount we are actually earned. So it helps us in what way? If we have failed to attain our desired target, immediately we can take steps. All right. So in that way, we are talking about the various different type of guests: rack rate, corporate rate, guaranteed corporate rate, preferred guest, weekend rate, package. So we are talking about those special rates which we taught you in the first year time, and they are whatever rates that we have allocated. Our hotels are being sold at whatever rates, that kind of comprehensive room revenue analysis with the revenue earned for each type of segment that we are earning, we can actually find out. So this is one. And when we are talking about the others, these are the total non-group. Again, when the non-group guests are coming, the transient guests are coming. So what is the amount that of revenue that we are earning for the day, for the month to date, and for the year to date? So all that is informed through the daily operations report. So when we talk about the club floor, when we call the frequent guest program, when we call up for the like MICE kind of things, for the different type of sectors, we have a comprehensive analysis from the till the date, today's date, for month to date, and for year to date. In that way, the room revenue analysis is made. So then, as you can see, just some time back, we talked about the house use rooms. Okay, so what is done? So these are the complementary rooms part. So we are talking about complementary rooms, house use rooms, and all that. So how many complementary rooms we have given? Who are the guests? Which are the room numbers in which such guests are staying? Which company they are from? And check-in date and check-out date. Who has authorized that? All those information has to be there in this particular report. Coming back to the F&B analysis. So first of all, we did the rooms analysis, and now again a major source is F&B revenue. So F&B revenue again is coming today's date. What are the number of covers we have sold? What is the average check per cover? So means every cover, how much, what amount we have earned. Similarly, I am going for month to date. Month to date means from the first day of the month till today. Similarly, we can have another part year to date. So, like how many covers we have sold and how much amount that we have actually added. So there are those parts, the room service parts, the banquet parts. In that way, we are trying to find out. Okay, and in that way, we are trying to find out this is our total revenue that the F&B has earned. Okay, now you can see that this part is the room service, but these are all the food part, and this part is again the room service, but this is the beverage part. So we have a separate account how much room sales we have done and how much beverage sales we have done for the day, for the month, and for the year. In that way, and what was budgeted and all that, so we can calculate the F&B expenses. So total food and beverage earning we are trying to find out here. Total food and beverage earning, then any room rental if there are customer service, etc., miscellaneous, and total food and beverage service department, how much revenue it is earning for today's date and for month to date and for year to date. All that we can be informed of in the daily operations report. Coming to the group analysis part. So when you talk about group analysis, so these are the different groups which are staying in the room, hotel, which are the rooms, which are the guests, which are the average rest. So in this way, we can understand that, okay, this amount of discount have been given to those particular groups. So when we did those revenue management formulas, if you remember, we were talking about last week that we have given certain discounts to the guests, and means why? Because they are in groups, and we always want groups because the groups give us an access to a greater number of people, and then we can get more revenue in future also. So number of rooms sold, how many guests are there from the group, and the average rate and the revenue, those are the things that we find out. And now here in the other part, we are talking about the market segments, which are the group market segments. So there are, like national association levels, registered and state association levels, corporate group, incentive group. So like MICE and all, SMERF, all those, tour and travel, frequent guests. So all those information we can actually take. So all those part of the group. And now, like we come to know, if you remember that those stayover formulas, forecasted formulas, we have to find out. So arrivals, now you can see yesterday, today, actual month to date, and all those. 6 p.m. reservations, how many 6 p.m. reservations? Those are, like confirmed and guaranteed reservations. We make analysis of that. So confirmed reservations is there, guaranteed reservations, number of walk-ins, same-day cancellations, 6 p.m. no show, guaranteed no show, relocated hotels, and all those information are taken. So how many guest arrivals have actually taken place in the hotel, we count for a comprehensive analysis. Now comes the out of order rooms. Okay, now these are the out of order rooms. We talk about means these are the rooms which have maintenance problem. That's why number of rooms available for sale are lesser than total number of hotels rooms in the hotel, like that. And then there is a like arrival analysis, there is a departure analysis also. So we talk about departures of yesterday and today, actual and expected, unexpected stayovers, total actual anticipated occupancy tonight, and all those information. Now, as you can see, all these informations help us to compute the forecasting formulas. So we could not have done the forecasting formulas until and unless this daily operations report are made. So this becomes a very important source for us, the daily operations report, from where we get various information about the hotel. So whether it is an out of order room, whether it is a room where we are talking about the complementary rooms, whether we are talking about the guest rooms, non-guest rooms, etc., we get a very detailed information from that. So daily operations report becomes a very important evaluation tools, as you can understand. So coming back to the slide, after that comes the occupancy ratios. All right. So if I talk about the occupancy ratios, I'm sure you have already done in your second year a few times, but still let's have a glimpse of it, and you will remember about that. So all those things that we did about the hotels, like those formulas that you did last year in your second year, and kind of problem case study has been given in the file that I had sent to you through Mr. Ayan Gupta and Mr. Shujoy Ghosh. You'll get this kind of short case study which is given. So we give you these case studies in your second year, and we told you to find about different operating ratios. So like that, those examples can be asked to you. So here you can see that we have been giving you the revenue and etc., and you are required to find out what is the occupancy percentage of the hotel, double or multiple occupancy, average guest pass through room, and average daily rate and average daily rate per guest. So all those things we can ask you from the occupancy ratios. Now this again becomes a very important tool, but if you just remember those rave par, rave pack, average rate per guest, yield statistics, all this we have already taught you. So these are the occupancy ratios. How does it help? The occupancy ratios basically help us we get all those data from the daily operations report or the manager's flash, and after that we can calculate and we can find out that whether we are doing correctly or not. So those are the evaluation kind of things that we do in the front office department. Now comes room revenue analysis. So if I just take a click on the rooms revenue analysis, you can understand that from the daily operations report again we can actually find out the rooms revenue analysis. Now this part what I showed you some time back is a part under the daily operations analysis. So here it is, this part actually, if you can see room revenue analysis. So we are talking about the various kind of rates that we generate from different kind of market segment, and we are, it's not only the group but also from the non-groups, and we come to know that okay, this many groups are there, this many corporates are there, these are the transient guests are there, and we make sure that we are earning the correct kind of revenue from them. After room revenue analysis, this is a very important thing I'm going to show you. This is the hotel income statement. So kindly be attentive once again. Now, coming down to this, let's see, and it's quite different from the room revenue budget statement that you had seen. Now, this is the consolidated statement of income. So I'll make it a little bit bigger for you. All right. So it is here. So this is the entire hotel income statement. All right. So here you can see this part. We are talking about the operative departments. So now in operative departments, and afterwards, as I told you that we'll find out what is room schedule. So here is the schedule. Now in the schedule, only the rooms revenue analysis is given. And this is provided by the accounts department. We'll talk about that a little bit later. We'll show it to you again. But what is it? The total revenue earned by the rooms. The total revenue earned by food, beverage, telecommunication, and other sources. And now the cost of such sales that we can find out. Then we can analyze, as you had seen in your budget report, there are various payroll expenses and other expenses, so we can differentiate, and then we can find out the income and loss. For the income and loss analyzed for each and every department, whether it is rooms, food, beverage, telecommunication, etc., etc. So that's the total. But these are the operational departments. So operating departments. So the major departments we are talking about here. So after that, we are talking about the total operation department. This is the revenue that we have earned. Now we are talking about undistributed operational expenses. So there are certain expenses which are distributed and some expenses which are undistributed. So which are the undistributed? As you can see, administrative and general cost. Why it is undistributed? Because we are not distributing it according to the F&B service, according to front office like that. We are compiling it as the total expense of the hotel. So it is undistributed. When it is distributed, when we are talking about the payroll expense, it is distributed according to F&B, it is distributed according to front office. Why? Because there are salaries and wages. You will remember. So salaries means on a monthly basis and day-to-day wage. So all that are there. So in that way, we have some distributed expense. So there are certain other expenses which are undistributed, which is for the total hotel. So administrative and general expense, marketing expense, property operation and maintenance, utility costs, etc. Those are the costs which are considered as undistributed. So when we are talking about the total revenue, and we are taking out the total undistributed expense. So we can understand that, okay, this would be my total revenue after subtracting the total undistributed expense in that way. And after that, we are now subtracting, and we are getting, you can see roughly you can calculate here that this was something like the total operation distribution revenue. So from that we are subtracting 5 minus 2, so we are getting something like 3,000 something, which is the, after subtracting the expenses, we are coming to the its income after undistributed and operating expense like that. And then we are talking about the various other costs which are involved. So like rent, property, etc., insurance, income before interest, depreciation, and amortization. Okay. So sometimes what happens, we have taken some loan. Amortization is we have taken some loan, and we have decided to return that loan over 10 years. So what happens? So every year we will keep, if we are not giving away also at that time, but we are going to consider that from the main profit, we are giving away this amount every year. Why it is done? Because we need to pay taxes. So if we are paying taxes, and in 1 year suddenly we have to give the entire amount, then it becomes difficult. So every year we are distributing little by little, and that is called the amortization expenses. And depreciation is, like we have many those equipments, etc. All these equipments that we are using, or the building, etc., they have a life. So say the life is 5 years, etc. So we'll divide the total cost of that equipment in those years, so that we understand that at the end of 5 years we have to buy. So those are the depreciation costs. So amortization and depreciation costs, that has to be deducted. And finally, we are talking about this amount of revenue. Now, gain on sale of property. So if you have sold some property, we have gained that, we'll add it up. And after that, from there, we are going to subtract the income taxes, and then we are going to come up with the net revenue. So this net revenue is the net revenue of the hotel, which help us in our GOPPAR calculation. So you know what is GOPPAR, gross operating profit per available room, and we can actually find out the GOPPAR with the help of these formulas. All right. So let us come out of this, and this is the, again, this was the sample consolidated income statement for the hotel, where we are talking about the entire hotel's income, and this becomes a very, very important tool for the owner, as you can understand. So they will keep on checking, all right, what is the actual revenue earned by the departments and the other expenses, and finally, most important thing, this is the total revenue that they have earned, and whether the average daily rate, which we had actually targeted in the Hubbard's formula approach, they have been maintained or not, that we can find out with the help of these formulas. Having said that, we have some other important cases. Now, room schedule. Now, in the hotel income statement, again, as I take you just for a second, now you can see that the first part is called the schedule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is a schedule? A schedule is the revenue and expense statement for the department. Okay, so when we are talking about the front office department will have a schedule. When we talk about the F&B department will have a separate schedule. So like that, we are actually trying to find out that means how we can calculate that. So all this information are provided to the front office department, what has been the salary and wages, employee benefit, commission, contract training, guest transportation, laundry, etc. So all these are provided, and from where you have got this information, this statistics are provided by whom? The accounts department. You remember when we did that budgeting chapter, we told you that there are actually few people who are involved while making a budget. So the front office manager is there, and they get all the information from the debit and credit manager of the hotel. So the debit and credit manager will provide the front office manager with this schedule, and then it will be checked by the controller, which is the finance director, and the general manager together, and then they will approve the budget. So all these informations and the statistics record, the right kind of statistics, are maintained by the accounts department, who provides the front office department with such information, and that actually helps the front office department to make the budget. Coming down to the rooms division budget reports. Now this you have already seen, and this we had already discussed to great detail previously. So you can just take a look at the revenue analysis, the expense analysis, and the total income generated by the front office at the end. So these are the three very important things. In your UWL projects also, they keep on asking you, all right, so what are the three important things you get in the rooms budget? So you have to answer revenue, expense, and the income. Also, if you check as what has been told you, the variance analysis is very important, both as a percentage, both as a thing. So this has been already explained to you. I believe you should be remembering this now. Coming down to operating ratios, all right. So these are occupancy ratios and these are operating ratios, and what are operating ratios, we'll take a close look of it. So basically we are talking about means net revenue means as a percentage of total hotel revenue. So this doesn't hold here. So that's why means as a percentage of total revenue, we are talking about payroll, operating, other expense, departmental income. So what is the, means we have to fill up those parts which are cross, which those are not applicable. But those parts which are not in cross, those parts are applicable. So percentage of departmental revenue as a part of net revenue. So we have to find that out. Percentage of departmental expense as a part of net revenue, we find that out, and all that departmental income again, we find out as a percentage of departmental total. In that way, we try to find this, like informations as. This is useful rooms diffusion operating ratios. All right. So we get this informations, and we can actually analyze and evaluate how well we are performing. And finally, we are talking about the ratio standards. Now, ratio standards, you had got a little bit of idea of that when we talked about some days back, when we spoke about the teams report. Okay, when we talked about the STR report, when we talked about Deloitte. Okay, so we said that this kind of uh, agencies, what they do, they provide the hoteliers with information that, okay, all right, these are the things that you are going to require. It's a comparative analysis with the other hotels in the area, and means how well your hotel is performing in terms of occupancy. So what is your occupancy, and how you can compare with occupancy with other hotels. So in that way, in the area, you can actually find out. So in that way, not only occupancy, your RevPAR, you are checking your RevPAR with the hotels in the area. So that is a kind of ratio standards. Now, whenever we are doing ratio standards, we are talking about compared against planned ratio goals. So where do we get the planned ratio goals? From our budget, all right? From our budget statement from the hotel, and we can check the variances, and then we can have the percentages. So after that, the next one is the planned ratio, and then what is the historical ratio? So what has been your percentage of income in the last year, and you can compare with that. So that is how the historical ratios help us. Then we can talk about industry averages. So industry averages, as I told you, is given by the Deloitte, the PwC, Sendent, and all those kind of organizations. And in the worldwide, TIMS report, Fraser's report, STR report, they all help us to provide us with the ratio standard. So basically, when we evaluate our operations, we are evaluating our operations with the different organizations that we have. Means the other hotels we are talking about, we are provided with some data by certain organizations with whom we are subscribed, and also we can use the revenue management softwares to evaluate. Also, we have the historical data. We have, as you can see, the data which were planned, and how well those planned kind of things has been executed. That can actually help us to evaluate how well front office has done. All right. So saying that, I think I will take a few questions from you. If you have any questions, if you have not understood any part of it, so let's just check out. Let me check out. There has been a few good mornings. Yeah. So yes. Any questions which you could not understand here? I'll take a few questions before I call it. I switch it off. So let me find out. Pan up, Studio now panning up the camera. You should have told me a little bit earlier. Probably I didn't see it. So you have to check. There are those all files have been sent to you by Ayan Gupta sir and Shudoy sir. All right. Which word? Amortization? You're talking about? Studio? Is it amortization? Suryarup, I would like to know which term you're talking about. Okay. All right. So amortization, if you are talking about amortization expense, it is about, say you have taken a loan. All right. and the loan is of say um, 20 lakhs. All right. So what you want to do? You want to, like at how many years you want to pay off the loan? Say you want 5 years to pay off the loan. So each year, 4 into 5 is 20. So 4 lakhs each year you'll be waiving the loan off or giving away the loan back. So those are called amortization expenses. Could you understand that? Suryarup? So say I have taken 20 lakh loan and for a period of 5 years. So instead of writing at the end of 25th year that I will pay 20 lakhs, what I am going to do, I am going to write 5 lakhs each of the year. So in the uh, net income statement. All right. Could you understand that? Yes, correct. Amortization. AMORTIZATION. You'll find that in the net income statement example that I have sent you in that file with Mr. Ayan Gupta and Sujay sir. All right. Okay. MTD is month to date. YTD is year to date. MTD means from the beginning of the month till today. So October started on 1st, all right, and today is 12th. So from 1st of October till today, what has been the total revenue that I have earned, that is MTD, or what has been the total expenses I have done, that is MTD. So from the 1st of the month till today. Similarly, YTD is year to date. So from the 1st of the year, so 1st January till 12th October, what has been the total amount that I have earned as a revenue or as an expense, what I have done, it can be YTD. All right. You have to tell me which term you are asking, Sudhir. It's difficult for me to understand that. And others. Which others? Welcome, dear. Welcome, 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 welcome. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Any other questions from anybody else? Okay, Rishabh Malik, you cannot see the screen. Well, it's a challenge of my YouTube session. Sometimes I do not realize that while I'm taking the class and I'm opening the presentation, I can see only one thing at a time. So I can see only the presentation on the board. I cannot see your comments. So maybe at the beginning of the class, sometimes you tell me that, okay, planning and evaluating operations, Suryarup. This is the name of the presentation. Wait a minute. This one. The same one, okay? So here, if you go to the objective, you will get evaluate and you will get that. Or else you can click evaluating and from there. So the basic presentation, planning and evaluating operations. This is the name of the presentation. Okay? Could you understand that? Great. That's great, Kiran, that you found it. Yes, I will do that. All right. Is that fine? Any other questions from anybody else? Well, I was saddened to see that some of you could not see the screen at all. So very sad. Yeah. But yes, thankfully the Zoom class would be on and we can talk about it. Okay. All right. Any other questions? No. So I stop it here. Okay. Bye, guys. Have a wonderful day ahead. And IFMB class is coming up from 11, I think. So take care. Bye.